Good afternoon, everybody. Today is Wednesday, July 9th, 2025. It is 4 p.m. and this is the monthly meeting of the City of Glens Falls Board of Public Safety. I will call this meeting to order. Mayor Collins is not here today, so I'm sitting in as the chair. I'm going to start out first with public comment. If there's anyone, I also have Mark Levesque and Elizabeth Hogan here discussing things too, but I don't really see anybody, so.
They're both here.
Public comment. Oh, yes, I said anybody else first.
Other than that.
So then I'm going to move to Mark Levesque from Fenimore Square Coalition, who's going to address the board regarding the local law that we passed back in 2022 about the buses and parking lot. Mark, would you like to come up here, please? Introduce yourself.
Sure. Thank you, Chairman McTiernan. My name is Mark Levesque, members of the board. I'm here today on behalf of the 4-block Fenimore Square neighborhood. Park, Glen, Hudson, includes Sawyer's to the south, Hospital to the west, over to 14 Hudson and back around to Pizza Hut on the corner. Kind of a loose association. I have some materials I'd like to pass out to you first. Take one, pass it on. Great enough. So, as I said, I'm here today on behalf of the owners and tenants of the Fenimore Square neighborhood. Quick history lesson. For 22 years, there were no signs on the west side of Elm Street between Hudson and Park. And the Trimways bus became an issue with blocking traffic, doing business in the street. Elizabeth Miller and I made a complaint to the mayor at a meeting, and he quickly brought the issue to the Board of Public Safety and got no standing, no parking signs on the trailway side of Elm Street. But unfortunately, they also ended up on the other side of Elm Street, which was never the intention. Shortly after that, the street went into construction. Parking resumed. During all of that construction, we were parking. After the project finished, we were parking there, and then the signs went back up. No parking, no standing on that side of the street. Really had a ripple effect throughout the neighborhood. All the neighborhood area businesses, from Trailways to RR Legacy, Park and Elm Street, Levesque Real Estate, Gallagher Insurance, Empire Pizza, Essential Massage, LabCorp customers, began to see the effects of just losing those 6 spaces on the west side of Elm Street. So tenants began parking in the Legacy parking lot to do business at Trailways. They began parking in the Trailways limited lot, which forced the buses back out onto Elm Street, violating the no standing, no parking signs. And again, with both sides being restricted, it didn't really restrict traffic flow because there were still 2 lanes there, but it has a propensity to block Elizabeth Miller's driveway into her parking lot, which really started the whole process of asking Trailways to simply do business on their lot and not do business in the street. So I'm here today to ask this committee to review returning those parking spaces on the west side. I think we can all agree that much effort and investment has been made in the 4-block Fenimore Square neighborhood. Collectively, we've transformed this location to attract fine dining, professional offices, quick food on the go, holistic and medical services. The folks that come into LabCorp often are not that ambulatory, and while I do have a parking lot for this business, those 6 spaces have made all the difference in the world to having a neighborhood flow that works. In my initial letter to this board, I also asked if we could strike parking spaces on Park Street because without any identified parking spaces, you have 2 cars taking up 3 parking spaces. So I did talk to Tom Gerard. He actually gave me permission here this evening to say that he has no issue from a Department of Public Works standpoint to park on the west side of Park Street. It is a 3-lane road, so with those parking spaces and with the no standing, no stopping on the east side, traffic flows. There's no issue with blocking traffic. I also feel that there's no parking from Elm Street to the hospital. Again, that's literally a 4-lane road, I believe, and to have parking on the 14 Hudson side of that street is also something that I'd ask you to look at, because there should be no reason why cars can't park on the north side of Park Street from Elm Street to the hospital. There's, right now, with any luck, soon to be a tenant deal in one of the vacant storefronts at 14 Hudson. 14 Hudson has had a hard time leasing those storefronts, primarily because of parking. We have a parking garage in the neighborhood. It's being paid for by the city taxpayers. I would also ask this committee or some committee to look into whether or not we can't get, you know, first hour free parking, second hour free parking, and charge from there. That would benefit the neighborhood greatly, because a lot of the traffic is stop and go. People come in, is it 2-hour free?
The parking garage is 2 hours.
It's currently 2 hours.
First 2 hours is free. Correct.
That's what I thought. I had a conversation
It
with
is.
somebody today and they
Yeah.
said it's not
No,
free
it
parking,
is.
so I'm glad to hear that. So that is a big help, but, you know, and I do appreciate the sign that recently went up.
Yeah.
And it does say that on the sign, right, first 2 hours free, so. But, you know, convenience is everything, especially for people that are not that ambulatory. And with 2 holistic practices in the building, with LabCorp, people coming in and getting their blood draws, those 6 spaces are not only key to the building on the corner of Park and Elm, but also Park and Elm, our legacy and trailways. So I appreciate your consideration on reviewing, taking the signs down and allowing for parking on the west side of Park Street. I do have a petition here signed by folks at RR Legacy, Trailways, Gallagher, LabCorp, and customers of some of these tenants that are in the neighborhood. Elizabeth Miller, Park and Elm. So essentially the neighborhood has signed a petition to have those
Are
spaces.
those copies we can have?
You can have the originals. I don't
Sure,
care.
sure, okay.
Yep, those are yours.
Okay, great.
And I have available for any questions if you have them. Other than that, that's the request today.
Mark, excuse me, am I mistaken? Park and Elm has a parking lot, am I correct? Where the former Landry, they took
Yes.
the building, that's their parking?
Yes.
Correct, that spot?
Yep.
They want additional spots as well
Well-
for parking?
Elizabeth Miller bought the Leibowitz building and built Park and Elm.
Right.
That has a small parking lot behind it.
Yes,
And subsequent to that, she purchased the building on the corner of Park and Glen. And there are parking spaces in
correct,
that.
between those 2 buildings?
Right.
Yes.
So it is a fact that she does have her own private parking there, but fully developed, those buildings, that amount of parking does not serve those 2 buildings from the tenant's perspective or really from the customer's perspective. Elizabeth has contracted and has made a deal to have her tenants pay for parking in the parking garage. So that's something that, you know, she's been able to work out. But
So if I may, do you believe that you're asking for these 6 additional parking spots?
yeah, we're just asking, for 20 some odd years, the signs were never there. Things worked fantastically.
So, excuse me, you're asking for those, that's what you're.
Yeah, we're
you're
asking for
asking.
the no parking, no standing signs to come down.
Right, and do you believe that those extra 6 spaces will eliminate the
I-
problem that's created there.
I know that since those signs went up, 2 parking tickets have been issued because people are overstaying their time limit. You know, no argument there. And Hudson Street is a 2-hour limit. With those 6 spaces there, we had no problems. Our Legacy didn't, Trailways didn't, I didn't, Elizabeth Miller didn't. But with those 6 spaces gone, people moved to the front of Elizabeth's Park and Elm building. So on time to time, the Park Street spaces in front of her business get used by customers in the neighborhood, which hurts her business. That if somebody can't pull up and park in front of her business, they get frustrated. So I could give you more examples of where that's.
No, it's not necessary. I'm just concerned that as that area grows, which obviously it is, and I don't have a problem with the 6 spaces right now, but I don't know what we'll do for you when that
All I'm
grows
here to
the
do
point.
today is just to say that the neighborhood has really seen the
Requested.
effect of the elimination of these 6 spaces. And with your approval and oversight, I think, you know, if you spend a day in the neighborhood, if you really want to know and make the rounds with me to these businesses, I think you could get a really clear picture on just how important they were. People park, they go to Trailways, they drop people off. Without those spaces there, they park in my parking lot, they park in our Legacy. You know,
No, I
the
get it. We frequently walk down to parking lots, so
Yeah.
I am familiar with that.
And it
area.
is a growing problem, and I always tell people, wherever there's a parking problem, there's a parking solution.
Mm-hmm.
So you just need to find it, and that's why I'm here today.
We hope we can find it.
Yes.
Do you have any other questions for Mark?
I can remember putting up the no parking standing on the east side.
Yes.
How did they get on no?
That's the $64,000 question
That's
here.
how it was proposed, that's how it went through,
The-
yeah.
The situation
It was-
started with the buses, we
It was
felt
the
it was
buses.
unsafe, and then
Yes.
no
But
parking
putting
on
them
standing.
back will
So
not
there was-
necessarily stop the buses from parking in those
Correct.
spots
And then
again.
there was a local
So that's the
law
only, you can't
passed.
just say no, well, I mean, you might be able to say no buses, I'm not sure, that would be a Chief Smith question.
Local law 4 in 2022 that
Yeah.
did that, so that we would have to go back, revisit that, and then change the local law, maybe undo the local law, redo the law, something like that, so it's gonna take a little consideration.
Yeah.
It's not just as easy as striping.
I understand the process. and
But we're,
Yeah.
I
we
was
started
told it
here,
starts
so
here.
No,
what I'd
yeah,
like to do is,
absolutely,
you know,
yeah.
go home, next month, we'll come back, revisit it, it'll be in months, I'll talk to the mayor about it and see, but Mark wanted to make his presentation and
Yeah,
get out there, so.
yeah.
I have a question. You covered several things, and I want to be sure we don't miss anything on your shopping list, because as you can tell, we do have to ask the city council to change this.
Yep.
So what you want then, what you're asking for then, oh, by the way, I do appreciate the feedback from the people who live there.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
is the lesson from Webster Avenue, is ask the people there
Yes.
what you're gonna.
They've signed the petition, the neighborhood's been canvassed, you know,
Sure.
they're all available for
Yeah.
You
commentary.
did your
if you need
homework.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So what you recommend then is that we stripe parking spaces on the north side of Park Street, is that correct?
North and south side of Park Street. Right now, and I did talk to Tom Gerard, he said that the painting crew, I guess you had a guy resign or move on or something, and that they were maybe a little behind on striping.
Sure.
But he did acknowledge that striping was coming. And just to have the little Ts, the parking Ts up and down Park Street to identify a parking space would be a huge help.
So you want that on Park Street for the entire length, or just the length between?
I would ask that it be on the length from Glen Street to Elm Street, both sides of Park Street, and then on the north side of Park Street from Elm Street to the Glens Falls Hospital, because there should be no reason why people can't park on that side of the street.
Is that no parking right now?
It's, the no
It's
parking
probably
sign
because
is
of that.
at the, almost at the corner. There's only a no parking this side, and the arrow goes that way. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming the arrow means all the way to the next
Yes.
intersection,
Yeah.
and that means nobody can park on that section of Park Street.
So there's no parking on the south side of Park across from 14?
Right, and I don't think there should be, but on the north side of Park Street from Elm to the hospital, and it really serves.
That freed up so you could see around those corners.
Yeah, it-
Visibility.
Well, you don't get too close to the intersection of the emergency room. That, you could stop where there's a no loading zone. From that point back east, all the way to Elm Street, should be no reason why you couldn't park there.
Right, we're always concerned about ambulance access.
Sure, yeah, but there's 2 traffic lanes there, even if you did have a car there.
Unless somebody parks a bus there.
Yeah.
Bus,
So then,
delivery truck,
The other
blocking the
thing,
road.
yeah,
Right.
the other thing is that these parking spaces, you want 6 parking spaces on the
I think
west
that's how
side
many
of Elm.
that were there,
Is
yeah.
that the case?
Yeah,
Okay, so that's it for the parking spaces then?
yeah,
Okay.
Okay. In front of your building, you want the parking spots in front of your building?
yeah, I think they should, I'd request, and it's not just me requesting, it's the neighborhood requesting that they go back and they be straight.
Yeah, that just helped me identify where you wanted.
I was gonna bring an aerial map today and highlight everything, but I didn't print it.
it. No, that's great, that's good. So you want those spots, and you would like them marked, and also then the north side of Park, you would like,
I don't
Yeah,
see any
those
reason why you
spots
couldn't,
back.
but I
spots.
appreciate commentary from the fire department.
No. Reason being is the delivery entrance and that parking garage is underneath 14, as well as they're gonna be rerouting traffic with the new ER construction that's gonna be going on there. So that's no longer gonna be like a stop sign area. It's gonna be a one-way coming off of Broad Street there. So there's, that whole transaction is going to be totally different once they're done with that ER
Okay,
area.
okay.
and you
Well,
guys-
that's really third on my list,
Yeah.
and now I know why that's probably not feasible, and that's fine because there wasn't parking there to begin with,
Okay.
so,
So the spots in the front, you would like,
yeah.
you would like them
And,
marked.
both sides of Park Street, from Glen to Elm, and the west side of Elm Street from Hudson to Park.
How do we encourage local businesses and residents to use the parking garage? Because at the highlight of hospital employees, there's 2 full floors that are.
Yes, I've had this conversation with Mitch Amato.
And there's a whole bunch of parking spots.
The city over allocated the parking in that garage between the owners of 14 Hudson and the Glens Falls Hospital. And I have lost tenant deals to put spaces into those places because we couldn't get any parking in the garage, which seems to me to be a complete misallocation of resources because the top 2 floors sit vacant every single day.
Yeah.
Ultimately, Mitch Amato said, we could probably work something out, what do you need? Because he doesn't need them all, they don't use them all, it sits vacant. Your question is an excellent question. How can we encourage the people?
Everybody.
It works for somebody going in and grabbing a sandwich if they can't park in front of Park and Elm.
Sure.
And knowing that they can park there, grab their sandwich and go out. I tell people we don't have as much of a parking problem as we have a walking problem.
You're
So to
absolutely
change that
right.
culture a little bit, each business in the neighborhood, we could send out bulletins, we could send out emails to our customer base, yes, definitely. But as far as the 6 spaces are concerned, it really relates more to LabCorp and ambulatory people and being close to the building. So having those spaces closer is just better.
Okay.
But I think 2-hour parking is enough for somebody getting a lab draw, or somebody getting a sandwich, or I'm trying to think of what other businesses might be there. Somebody's dropping off a check to Gallagher Insurance. It's an education thing, and we could do more as a neighborhood to do that. Definitely.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Pretty good. Any more questions? Good.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you for being so thorough.
So we're going to move on to our next guest this evening, which is Elizabeth Hogan. And she has spots on Crandall Park and making a, I think it's from the Glen Street, Honside Road, one way up into the park. I did put a map in there, but I got that whole story one.
That's a good one here for the back. I'm gonna put it on the table.
If you want to, yeah, whatever is easiest for the board. Was this the right map you showed this in here?
That's easier, Charlie, this one.
Yes, that side.
For one way from here to here, that's what Amy should be.
It's a little different than this one. This one's better.
Yeah.
Let me go there.
Yeah, because you have it running one way up to here, and then you got two-way traffic off for the rest.
It's okay to focus
Sure,
on
yeah.
that. So I'm Elizabeth Bill Hogan, I'm president of the Beautification Committee, and, hello. The committee has been working with Labella Associates to come up with long-range planning for the park. One of the suggestions that Labella made to us that a lot of committee members really liked was to make the southernmost entrance to the park, that's the one that goes around the pond, one way. So currently it's two-way. Most of you are probably, this is what the road looks like in general. And that's my bike. And right here at the entrance to the road, it's 19 feet wide. If you go a little further, it's 12 feet or 12 feet 8 inches wide. So it's a very narrow road. We're working to make the park more pedestrian and bike friendly and always make it safer. So the committee came to the Recreation Commission and showed them this. I walked the area with Tom Gerard. He was in favor of this as well. So the first proposal is that this road that comes in be one way to that location. That's the first proposal. And then the second proposal is, do you mind if I reach over you? I'm sorry. This little spot here is currently a dirt road. The committee had wanted to close down all those roads, but Tom Gerard didn't think that was appropriate. He thought we needed it for driving and parking. But this little road, we'd like to eventually close that because the goal of the committee is to make a path all the way from Fire Road to Horicon Road. And it would be most likely similar to the path that goes around Jerome. You know, it's like a little bit winding, nice, handicap accessible path. But we, we're a ways away from that because we don't have the money that would be needed for that.
Yeah, it's a little cut through, because there's a gate on the other side there that we do gate off when there's events up there.
Well, currently, right here is gated. And all summer long, that gate is shut, which is really nice because so many kids use the splash pad. And before, cars could
Yeah,
drive right
like
through
that.
there. So that was a big improvement to have that gated. So the second one, we're just kind of seeking input, won't happen right away. But the first one is something, before we have Labella move forward and produce more plans, we want to make sure that's something that's acceptable to the city. So what are your all thoughts?
So there's nothing in the code about, as far as I know, about restrictions on roads that are in parks. So if
It's not
Chief
usually a
Smith
road, yeah.
or Deputy Chief Motor have anything to add to this, whether it's a good idea or a bad idea?
The only concern, that road's very narrow. I've patrolled it for many years, and you always have to move over if there's two-way traffic, and somebody does. My only concern, and I haven't had a chance to look it up yet, is if there happens to be an accident in there, because there is two-way traffic, being able to enforce a ticket for the person that is going the wrong way. Because it's not listed as a road, it's not in the city code as a road, so I would have to look up the rules of what that would entail as far as in a park. And maybe you would know, Mr. Sato, I'm not sure. But I haven't had a chance to research that yet, so definitely something, for next month. I have no proposal, no opposition to it being one way. I've always thought it should be one way or the other, because it is very narrow. And people are always you have to pull over and you're hitting the curb, the ditch, and you're messing up more of the park, I think, by driving off the road. So my only concern would be enforcing that one way.
So do you think if they actually created them as a road, and then add that to code, and then that's obviously how you
Potentially, yeah.
enforce it? I mean, I don't know if it's as easy as that, but that might be the better option.
That's possible.
We would have to create it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, just name it a road. If it's
Yeah.
in code, then the police can enforce it if it's in code as a one-way.
If that-
I just don't know how, if you can just do that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
What's the minimum width for a one-way road?
look it up too. It's in there someplace.
I don't know if
but
there'll be like
exactly what
DOT
it
issues
is.
or, you know,
Yep.
yeah.
Because
That's-
they have
that's
such
only-
a variety of different widths.
All my comments are-
Glens Falls.
And the committee is aware of the potential unintended consequence of people then driving faster to get out because they can't just turn around and get out. That's the other worry we have. But there's a lot of people that drive too fast through there right now, with the B2, so.
Oh, yeah.
But people can still come in and park, like we did not want to take away, you know, people come in, sit there, have their lunch, they just would have to go a little farther to get out.
But would we, that people do park on the right-hand side of that road. And I get, my concern is if we do make it wider, if we do make it a street, establish it as a one-way, it would have to be, I don't know, because people would still be coming in and parking and make it narrow all over again. And we couldn't make it, I don't know if we could make it no parking on that right-hand side.
If you want to, that's where people park and they get up and take their kids fishing.
Fishing,
Yeah.
correct, that's what I'm thinking.
And skating.
Yeah, yeah, but maybe have some, maybe hold on this and think
Yeah, I was
about
gonna
it
say,
and discuss it and
let
It is a
Chief
good
Smith
idea.
do some research and see, and we'll
Yeah.
just kind of put this
what
off
we
till
need
the
to do
skating.
to make it a road, figure out what we need to do to make it a road, how wide it needs to be, and then discuss it some more.
Because you can't enforce a
I don't-
one-way street if it's not a street, right? That's what you're saying.
I don't know if our
Right.
intention is to make it wider. I think it's more so just to make it a one-way, and it's
Right.
already a two-way right now. It's more so the enforcement aspect, I guess, is what it would be. But I guess it's no different than now. Chief, with an accident now, because they're not a road, how would it really be any different?
It would be really just it would be
Right.
an accident because you're,
Right,
I have
So
no
it would be
knowledge,
like if it's in a parking
I
lot.
have no knowledge of there being any accidents in there,
right.
but when you start putting signs up,
Mhm.
people are gonna be,
There's already like 5-mile-an-hour signs. So is your,
those are just recommendations.
so you think you couldn't ticket anyone for unsafe driving in Crandall Park?
You'd have to have them on radar to be able to do that. There's other sections of the law for unsafe driving, yes, but not for speed. You'd have to have them caught on the radar to say, yes, they're,
But is that because it's, because I've always thought it was a road, I didn't know it was not a road.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to understand.
you wouldn't be able to give them a specific speeding ticket, you'd have to give them reckless driving ticket.
Okay, and you're saying that because it's not an official road?
Right.
Okay.
Every road is listed in our code, and that's how, if there's like no parking on certain sides, it has to be listed in the code in order for the police to enforce it.
Oh, okay.
And the ones in Crandall aren't listed because they're not technically a
Oh,
road.
yeah.
So that there may be signs up, but I don't know if necessarily it's enforceable by the police, and more, like you said, guidelines.
Which is why the DOT regulations about width
Don't
apply.
apply, right.
So if it's not a road, if we don't make it a road, then we can pretty much do what we want with it, like put in speed bumps to slow down idiots.
Mhm.
Good idea.
If it's not an official road.
Just our articles and
The
drivers.
committee would be definitely in favor of that. We've talked about that several times before.
Yeah.
That would be a great idea for both sides. To put speed bumps in, even though this is a two-way, I understand that, that's the two-way, but, I mean, I've seen people come in and out of through there pretty rapidly.
Sure.
On that road.
And that was the biggest
That's-
concern, was this for
Yeah.
safety issue?
Yes.
Okay, so speed
This
bumps
is
may
a-
alleviate the need to make it a one-way.
Well, Labella's suggestion was that we make this road one way, and we have Tom Jarrett on our committee, who is a civil engineer, and we have Norville Greenberger, who's also, in urban planning. And they all were in favor of us asking the city to make this, to try making this one way, because it would improve the safety for pedestrians, bikers, people using the pond, but still allow people access to come in, drive, and park, and have their lunch and drive out.
Yeah. Well, now that the board knows what you're asking for, and it does sound like a good idea. I think we do need to wait, find a little bit, get a little more information, see what we need to do this, if there's anything we need to do. Or look at speed bumps, so bring it back up as new business in August.
So in terms of working with Lobella, I have to push them off because we don't know at this point if the safety board is in favor of making it one-way. Is that accurate or not?
Well, let's ask the board.
If you want to bring, what do you think? Do you want to bring a resolution from the floor, or would you rather?
I move we recommend approval of this plan.
Positive endorsement? Okay,
I agree.
okay. Anyway. Motion? A second?
I seconded you if that works, because you said you agree.
I know that the Recreation Commission did give a positive endorsement as well.
And I did walk through the town drive too, and Mark,
I don't think we should stand in the way of this.
And the speed bumps are probably a good idea too. I mean, I haven't seen too many people speed through, but you never know.
They got them in
Because
front of
there's
the
no
light.
posting on the one-way
Yes.
signs. It's just more so the police wouldn't be able to say you're going the wrong way and give a ticket, that's all. But it's really no different than right now, because it's just kind of Wild West in there right now.
Yeah.
but most people are
People
good
tend to
and
look at
try
a
to
sign, if
follow.
you see a sign, it's just a sign.
Right, I think it will improve the safety of people using the park.
I agree.
So we just want to have a positive recommendation from the Board of Public Safety then.
All in favor?
All right.
All right.
Excellent, thank you so much.
Thank
Would you
you.
like to keep that one? And I don't know if I did directly what I just
You make this a motion.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
it's
will
the-
keep this one, if you could have you email it to me, or if you email it to, or that works too. Yep, that works even better, because that one, yeah,
Better.
perfect, yeah. That's a little easier.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Love to the thing. Love to the thing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thanks,
Okay.
Brad.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on, next resolution, we just want to approve the May 2025 meeting minutes of the Glenn Board of Public Safety, the Royce May meeting last month. Is there any questions or comments about the May meeting minutes? Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second. All in favor? Thank you. Resolution retroactively approved because we didn't have a meeting last month. The USA Blue Slider Search event. This event was originally approved by the Board of Public Safety on resolution number 32, 2025 for May 17th and 18th, but was canceled due to rain. They requested to hold the event on June 14th and 15th, which they did from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. in Murray Street Hill. The event plans had not changed, only the date. The city once again contacted Eric Wood, President of Richard Prime, who notified them that they were going to be holding the event there, and so they could redirect their trucks. That all went well. So it's just a retroactive approval. Do I have a motion to approve? Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Next one is a resolution to approve the 2025 School of Palooza to be held on August 14th, 2025 at Crandall Park on the main field between the hours of 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. This is a rain or shine event. It's been held for the past 10 years. The organizers expect up to 2,500 people to come through the park during its
Oh,
course.
you're good. I know that's what I was
They collect backpacks and head out.
Excuse me, I'm confused because I've got too many pieces here.
Yeah. You're good.
Am I going too fast?
No,
Do I have,
no, not
do
at
I have
all.
a motion?
Motion.
Second? All in favor? Okay.
And may I just add a thank you to this, for the organizers of this event.
Yeah.
I think it's a wonderful event, and I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
still waiting for workers' rights. I wanted to make sure we had it approved first. I didn't think that you wouldn't. They've had it for so long, they do a great job with it.
Yeah, it's terrific.
Here's another one. So, resolution to retroactively approve the 2025 July 4th Independence Day Symphony Concert and Fireworks Celebration held at Crandall Park on July 3rd. In the same manner as previous years. They began setting up at 11 a.m. with the actual event beginning at 7:30 p.m. and concluding with the fireworks that almost didn't happen because it started raining and it stopped and it was thunder. Everything went off well. Everyone had a great time. So do I have a motion to retroactively approve that event?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Resolution to approve a new event called Summer Jam. This event holder is BFF, and stands for Beer, Food, and Friends, LLC. They've previously done this at Lake George up at the, I guess, up at the park, that park up there where
Sure.
Gaslight Village used to be.
The wood,
The wood, okay. So they want to have it down here at the New West Center, and that's going to be July 12th, which is a Saturday, from 3 p.m. until 10 p.m. The event will include the Market Center property and the closure of South Street from Broad Street to the Broad Street split to Elm Street, while allowing for local business traffic. There will be a band, food, vendors, kids' activities, and it's built as a contained block parking. The event holder is requested to waive the city's open container ordinance, which the town council did last evening, I believe, for the duration of the event. The event holder will monitor the entrance and exit of the Market Center area and road closure boundaries to ensure that no open containers leave the event space. The work orders have been sent to the DPW Fund Police for this event. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion on the condition that they monitor the,
We had a meeting with them, yeah. They came in, they talked to the fire and the police and everybody. We made it very clear what they were supposed to do.
okay. And they have their signs. I'll make that motion.
All in favor? Thank you very much. Next resolution is a resolution to approve the 2025 Making Strides Against Cancer of the Adirondacks. This is sponsored by the American Cancer Society. This will be held on October 26, 2025, from 9 a.m. until 12 noon in City Park, with a walk starting at City Park and it proceeds down Maple Street to Walnut Street, then up to the Warren County Bike Path, all the way back. The walk will be on the sidewalks. There'll be no view in the road. Volunteers will have been crossing Dix Avenue. Do I have a motion to approve? There should be a map of that too.
So they're going from Maple, from the Chapman to Duke
Yeah,
Industrial.
they were done, then they used the bike path to go out
And
and
they're
turn around and
coming
come
back.
back. Yeah,
And they're coming
yeah,
back.
they're coming like a singer. They've been doing this for. And I worked at Whiteman because I used to know the lady that ran it, so I'm 6 years at least, and I don't know.
I move approval.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you very much. I did include, we had changed our Glens Falls event application because there were some wonderful points that you people had brought up. We did add the addition of the new Ed South Street event. Market Center is another venue available for use. When we're doing open container, we must, that no alcoholic beverages are allowed beyond this point, so they have to put signage and have people to do that. These are just things that we added. Barricades provided the city with street closure must be manned and monitored for the duration of the event. We explained this to people, but they were never reading it and signing it, so we're just trying to take it one step further. A COI submitted to the city for any event must include the following text: the city of Glens Falls is listed as an additional insured. This will include it, once again, we just added it to make it stand out. Event holders must submit a list of food vendors and verify that those vendors are legally permitted to vend in the city of Glens Falls. And this is, of course, the event holder's responsibility. We just wanted to let you know that we listened to what you said, and we put that into the application. Those are changes that we've made.
Thank you. We skipped it.
I did skip one?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm like, wait a minute. where's that?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Sorry.
good.
The VFW, back one.
Oh, it's BMW.
Yeah.
Did I? I said no good at
You've been in
this.
there once or twice.
Oh, okay. Thank you, just throw things
You know
at
my
me.
neighborhood.
I don't usually do this. All right, let's go back to number
It's all
10.
right. It's got you.
Resolution to approve the Adirondack VFW Post 2475 in Lawrence Street Taverns Toss for a Cause. This is to benefit the Glens Falls Youth Center. It will be held on July 26, 2025, from 12 noon until 6 p.m. The organizers are requesting a street closure on Cooper Street from Lawrence Street, just beyond the VFW building, on Cooper Street for a corner, so it's like from the corner of the bar to the corner of the VFW building.
Correct.
So that the street will stay open. They're going to have a cornhole tournament, music on the front porch, and as I said, they say that the funds are going to go for the Glens Falls Youth Center. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I'm sorry I skipped over that. I was so excited to get there because I knew that Michael loved me for putting in. You had to be there. Okay. We have old business to bring back, the EVs. I don't know if anyone has anything else for that. We did, Mike has forwarded along an email from Frank Capabianca.
Yes. It's a real issue. A real issue in this city.
I had to step off the sidewalk 2 days ago on Crandall Street because a guy on an adult on an electric motorcycle was racing down the sidewalk.
As you all know, we live by the bike path, and we stand, you go out, go over to Stewart's, you see the little ones walking over. I know it's a bike path, not a walking path, but that's moot. People walk that all the time. And there's no sound. They come right up behind you. You don't know they're coming. They don't say they're behind you. Most bicyclists will say, passing on the left. It's an issue. It's a real issue. I have a problem with the no sound.
Yeah, I have, go back and look.
I don't know what we can do about it.
I think we did discuss putting, no, a sign with no motorized vehicle. I'm not sure, we kind of left that alone, didn't we, because we have to cut out
You don't have
electric
to put it-
wheelchairs or mobility scooters
Yeah.
and things of that nature. Do you have anything else to add to that, Chief Smith?
Just what I presented last month.
Okay.
If you want to prohibit these on sidewalks, and that's the city ordinance. And you just put in the city ordinance that it excludes handicapped vehicles.
How do we do that?
Should we separate
Can we make that?
motorized to
Maybe a
pedal bikes?
or a local law, it goes up to local council.
I think we should do that. And just be eliminating,
You're
Exception.
talking about excluding them from the sidewalks only?
Yeah, I saw one of my neighbors,
That's a
she
start.
had to be at least my age, riding her bike down the sidewalk. I don't think I'd be able to tell her not to do it. It was Harley on the bike. She's
Let me make a
afraid to go on the
note.
street. I can't blame her for that either.
I'm pretty sure I know, we've been fighting with this for a while. Let me talk to the city attorney, Karen Judd, to see how she would want to word something like that if we were going to bring something forward to the common council to propose a local law. Then I can bring it to you. If you'd like it, we can, maybe we can modify it and then we have to get it to the council. But I'm going to ask Karen for some legal advice.
Sooner
Does that sound like a good idea? Because I'll do that and have it for next month.
Yeah,
Is that
And
exactly?
all in favor of no EV bikes on sidewalks.
Yeah, I'm going to ask her how we want to write
Gotta
that.
think about the pedal bikes. Seniors,
Well,
kids.
it's not against the law in New York State to ride a bike on a sidewalk.
So, but let me talk to Karen and see what she says, if she can give us some verbiage, and then see what you think about that, at least move it in that direction. Does that sound fair enough?
Yes.
I will do that, we'll have something for you at the next meeting, I'll get it to you a few days ago, so you can take a look at it too. Okay, so I have Chief Smith's May and June police reports.
So the only thing I had for new business in May was that we were conducting background checks on 2 candidates for hire. We concluded those backgrounds. The board approved both of them. Almost a month later today, they were sworn in, and we start the academy on Friday.
Very good.
That kind of wraps all that together. The only old business I had was as far as the speed trailer. That's in and it's at our IT department right now. They're learning how to use it and programming it. And once that's complete, they'll get it to us, train us on how to use it. So you'll see that out there.
This would be terrific.
It's a little longer than we anticipated it coming in, but it's here and getting programmed.
We'll figure it out so they can teach us how to figure it out. And that one is going to do license plate recognition, and there'll be some other things to discuss when we get to that point, but the first thing is get it up and running and
Yeah.
let the police department learn how to use it, and then we'll take it whatever direction we need to. So we also have a lot of our new cameras are in too that chief's gonna be thinking about where to put those at locations around the city for traffic enforcement or troublemakers, whatever Chief Smith thinks we need to do with them. So those are, I mean, 9 of them online right now. We got 10 SIM chips. It's like a card that goes in your phone because it goes right to the cloud. One of them we're using for the trailer, the other thing we're putting in something that's called a solar shield camera. You've heard about that before, so we don't need to wire them up. They just run on a solar panel. So we can deploy those as needed. Do I have a motion to accept the chief's reports? Oh, sorry.
How's the detective that was attacked by the dog? Is he doing okay?
He's okay, he was in yesterday. He's still on antibiotics. Has a couple of follow-up appointments.
Was it while he was working?
No,
Oh.
Do you think it'll be opening down coming too?
not yet.
Oh, should I get my nose shut? Is this the
No,
price?
it's okay. Saturday, we pick up our new K9. So, and then I will start training in September. So
Awesome.
that dog will be around.
And who is going to?
Officer Pratt.
Good.
Very nice.
That's, I didn't hear you were funny if you were going to
Progress.
scream.
That's okay.
I'll second
I would
the
have covered that
motion.
next week, or next month. Thank you.
I second
Thanks,
the
Chief.
motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty neat because I,
That's a good news.
pictures for the dog. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Deputy Chief Mortar, we have your report for Main Eaton, please.
I have nothing new to add to the reports that you already have in front of you, but I would like to request an executive session so we can discuss our candidates.
I'll approve the report.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? I'm going to walk me through this. So we'll go out to executive session.
Right, make a motion to go into executive session.
Yep.
Make a motion. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
Needs a second.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Great.